Welcome to the brand new Draymond Green Show YouTube channel. Hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our content. Jalen Brunson has now passed Carmelo Anthony in playoff points. And I know it's been this debate about, is Jalen Brunson like one of the greatest Knicks ever already and all of these things. And I have a hard time saying Jalen Brunson is higher up than Melo because I came in the league underneath Melo. You know, Melo was one of the superstars in the league when I came in. And, you know, just watching Melo my entire life, I feel like one of those old heads that be hating on the younger guys. Like when our generation, when this guy did that, and can never see past that. But I still got to roll with Melo for now. But Jalen Brunson is making his mark. And I think right now is a great time for us to bring on our guest because if we're going to talk Knicks, I want to talk Knicks with these crazy-ass Knicks fans that they just banter and banter and banter. So let's welcome our guest to the show, the host of the All In podcast, one of the most successful angel investors of our time, Jason Calcanis is my friend. Cal, what's up, my brother?
It's good to be here, and I have been watching and taking notes on the Draymond Green show. I know you have a lot of feelings about the Knicks, and you know I have a lot of feelings about the Knicks, and I've been rooting for them my whole life since the Patrick Ewing era when I got to see Jordan and Ewing and Alonzo Mourning and all this stuff, and you've been dogging me in the group chat and at poker for over a decade about my Knicks. And here we are. You're in Cabo getting that fishing in May, getting that early sun. And my Knicks in 6 in the first round versus the MVP with our future MVP. And here we are. Looks like the brooms are out for Pacers. I called it a gentleman's sweep 5, and I'm ready for Celtics. And you know what? The Celtics do not want to play the Knicks. I can tell you that.
Y'all actually think that number one, he talks about me being out of the playoffs. So again, when I talk delusional Knicks fans, he talks about me being out the playoffs, being in fishing in Cabo in early May, as if they've won a championship. Y'all are in the second round. Like it's the second round of the playoffs.
You have no idea, Draymond. If you have a man who's dying in the desert, right? And you give them a Dixie cup of water, that's like swimming in an ocean for us, man. You just pop champagne bottles. I'm at the buffet. We have been starving for decades. We got a little bit of Carmelo, but since then, we've had a lot of pain. We had Dead Tony, we had Eddie Curry. I mean, we've had pain and suffering, man. Let us enjoy it, is what I'm trying to tell you, Draymond. Let us enjoy it. But I have questions for you. And by the way, I just want to say, your podcast is so great out of the gate.
Thank you.
And you went from doing, what's really easy, being part of a panel or popping in other people's podcasts, to the second most difficult, which is doing solo podcasts. And, doing a solo podcast is so hard, and you do it so tight, especially after you're getting off the court, when you do it after a game. I mean, unprecedented. And so I just want to give you a lot of kudos for that, because it's impressive to me for somebody who's done 2,000 episodes of podcasts.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The question I have, for you is, Brunson, we as Knicks fans have been watching him get better and better and better. And he had those moments, on the Mavs when Luka was out. And I asked Mark Cuban, we're friendly, and I said, how good is this kid we traded for here? And he said, he's very good. I said, how much upside? He says, he's got upside. But this is more upside than the entire NBA expected. So putting aside, the fact that you're very rarely not in the postseason and the Knicks are never in the postseason, I wanted to ask you as a player, what are we seeing from Brunson? Because there's people, Chuck and Shaq, who are kind of dogging the Knicks. You're dogging them. But let's talk about that player, because I've been watching all season as he gets better and better and more unstoppable. And the floater, the three, the picks, I mean, the mid-range, this kid can do it all. So how good is he? putting aside the Carmelo comparison, just how good is he and is there upside left? My two questions for you.
Y'all see this crazy bromance going on. This man just gave us a complete rundown of Jalen Brunson on the Draymond Green show, but I'm here for it because I actually like and respect Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is a winner, has been a winner, so he got my respect. But here's the thing, J. Cal. If Jalen Brunson was who he is today, and everybody believed that he would be who he is today, he wouldn't be a Knick. Because you don't let star players get away, let alone walk for nothing. And he walked from the Dallas Mavericks for absolutely nothing. The fact that they are actually in the position that they're in when you lost a guy like that for absolutely nothing 1 year prior is absolutely incredible in itself. But no one expected Jalen to be this. No, he also wouldn't have signed when Jalen signed his deal, which I think is right around 4 years, $100 million or something like that.
Yeah, about $25 million a year.
Everybody was like, "Oh my God, he's overpaid. I can't believe they paid him that money. Do they think he's going to be a number one option? Worldwide West is paying him because he's had a relationship with them since he was a kid. Leon Rose, they're taking care of their CAA guys. And although it appeared that way, that's what was happening. I mean, the NBA even launched an entire tampering allegation thing over it because Uncle Wes was so close to Jalen and the family all these years. And all of those things were launched from the NBA standpoint, meaning nobody thought that this was who this kid would be and that it was only happening. They were only signing him to the Knicks because they were taking care of family. And Jalen has made everybody look like idiots. He's put the New York Knicks on his back. He's got people talking about him within the ranks of the greatest Knicks of all times. And although the Knicks hasn't won a ton, the great Knicks that have played, like there's been great Knicks that have played for the team. And when you look at what he's done over and over and over again, he missed the entire second quarter last night and has 20-plus points in the second half to carry those guys to a win. I mean, it's been incredible. To Mark's point, he has some upside for sure, but no one believed that he had this much upside because the Dallas Mavericks would have never let him walk.
No, they would have got some picks. They would have done a sign-in trade. This was the best signing that we've seen, like a straight-up signing. Since when? Like, when do players ever just get signed in the free market? It doesn't happen anymore.
It doesn't happen. Unless you're Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, who's just trying to get back home, right? Like they were trying to get back to Los Angeles. But you don't really get signings like that. And like I said, it's not even so much the signing because we've seen big guys like Kevin Durant sign with the Warriors, right? Like we've seen Shaquille O'Neal, You've seen over the years star players sign other places. But the thing about this signing is, again, the value of the contract. Like, it's
incredible.
So they got this guy. Now, here's the thing for Jalen. When he has to make all NBA and do these things so that he can get the full max extension, because if not, if he doesn't, and I'm not even sure that that's how the rule works, but Jalen, with years of service, I don't think he'll be able to sign a max extension. And don't fully quote me on that because I could be a little off with the rule, but I don't think he'll be able to sign a full max extension unless the Knicks have cap space. And if they have cap space, they can use that. But because the extensions work on the last number of your contract, so you get a 7.5% raise, I think he's able to get on the last number of his contract. That doesn't put him near the full max. That's the situation the Knicks are in, and that's what makes this signing even better than the play is looking.
Okay, so now I got another question for you. And I think that's a really important way to set the table for my next question, because Dallas didn't know what they were giving up. And obviously nobody in the league knew he had this much potential. And the Knicks obviously knew he had potential, but they were putting him alongside Randall and our number 3 pick at the time, RJ Barrett.
Oh, the RJ stray
It's a
is
stray.
crazy.
I never liked the kid.
Come
on, man. Every
Knicks
time he
fans feel
drove the
that way?
basket, he would miss layups. You can't miss layups.
So Knicks fans hated RJ Barrett.
We just felt he was a blocker and not committed. He didn't feel like he had the conditioning, the heart. He didn't fit the dog mode that Tibbs and the Knicks fans want. We want dogs on our team. We want Mason. We want Oakley. We want Starks. We want grit. We want people who play both sides, defense. And if there's a scruff, we basically want Oakley Draymond level players who are going to fight to the end. This is why when I met you, I said, like in another lifetime, you would have been a Knick because the Garden would love you, Draymond. You know that. And I don't know how many years you got left in the tank, but
so wait,
any way to get you on my Knicks.
You think y'all got better with getting RJ out?
I absolutely believe RJ was a blocker for our success. 100%.
Wow.
Because you got to remember, who did we get when we got rid of RJ? We got OG. And OG is the Tibbs player. He'll play 40, 42, 48, whatever number of minutes you give him. He'll play defense. He'll set screens, and he can score the 3. This is what Tibbs wants. So this is my next question. How much credit do you give to this front office? Because you worked with the best front office, I don't know, in 20 years, and you put together the 2 best, most beautiful teams since, the what was it, the 73 win Bulls, the 72 win Bulls, whatever.
72 win. There's only one team with 73.
73, that's you. And then 72 was theirs. So let's pause for a second here. They got OG. The year before we got Hart. We got your guy, Al Dante. He was underrated, clearly. And then this kid, Hartenstein, who is a passing big man with the soft touch and the floater. How good is our front office? Because we have nobody. I think our highest rated draft pick is maybe the 16th or 17th. You know something about going low in the draft and then becoming an all-star and a champion. How good is our front office? Because we've now established that we got Brunson for a steal. Now go down the line. The 4 players I just talked about, Hartenstein, Hart, OG, and your guy, Al Dante. How good's our front office right now?
I think y'all front office has done great for all those things that has happened with y'all team that you just named. I think the front office has done a great job in putting together a team that is just good enough to excite Knicks fans in the Garden and just good enough to win a couple playoff series and not quite good enough to win a championship. I think y'all front office has done an incredible job of that. I'll also tell you another underrated move of the front office, bringing in Tibbs. Because Tibbs actually fits to your point of what you just described with the New York Knicks. Tibbs actually fits what New York culture is. It's go, go, go. Hustle, bustle. You hit the streets of New York, you're walking to this meeting, you're running to that meeting, you're crossing over in front of this taxi. It's go, 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 go. Josh Hart's playing 48 minutes. Jalen Brunson's playing 46 minutes. Dante's playing 45 minutes. That he actually fits the New York model, bar none. Now, here's the thing, though. When you start talking about all of those all of those minutes, OG Anunoby, hamstring, it don't always show up right then, but it shows up in the most important times and yet kind of the worst times. OG Anunoby is probably now out for this series. That's a big game changer. And
a hamstring is not pretty, right? That's a hard one.
He's probably won't be back until midway through the next series. And when he gets back from that, he probably still won't be right. That's going to take a while to get over because you also got to get over that mentally. And so to your question, I think the front office has done an incredible job from the coaching staff they've put together to the roster that they've put together. But I'm going to tell you this. Coach Izzo used to tell me this term all the time. And he used to say, Draymond, we have this term in basketball and coaching. We have this term in coaching that we like to use. And when you look around, a lot of guys really fit into the mold. And I'm like, all right, coach, what's the term? Just good enough to lose with. And that's what I think the Knicks are. I think the Knicks are fun team to watch. I think they're hard-nosed. I think they got guys that compete, but I don't think they quite have enough to get over the finish line. And guess what? It's looking like there's going to be a new champion in the NBA this year, a young champion that we've never seen in the NBA before as a champion leading a team to a championship. That looked like it's pretty much going to happen because I think Denver's toast. And so the only chance that doesn't happen is if Denver wins again. They don't stand a chance. However, I'm sorry to tell you, J. Cal, I don't quite think it's the Knicks year. I don't think so.
We don't necessarily think like this is the year we've lost. We've been down basically 3 starters, 4 starters this year, and we still put up a 50 burgers on the grill without the blockness monster, Mitch Robinson, without Randall, who's a Bulldog and had his best season, and he seemed to got his head straight this year and accepted a role and got downhill and just made quicker moves. Because I don't know if you saw the Atlanta series a couple years ago, man. The big stage at the Garden, it was
bad. It was real bad.
He was bad.
Yeah, bad.
This year was his best performance. So I'm kind of bummed about him. And so, we're realistic. It ain't pretty, but it's gritty, and nobody wants to face us. Because you were out there saying, "Oh, we're not getting past the 76ers. Joel Embiid, we got no answer."
Man, Joel couldn't move.
Zip.
The guy could not move. He's out there
he
playing.
Was 80. What was he? 70%?
He's out there playing on a half of a knee. Can't move. Like, come on. But listen,
you still thought they were going to beat us.
You want me to tell
you
what this is going to lead the Knicks to? I'll tell you what this is going to lead the Knicks to.
Okay, tell me.
You just mentioned the Atlanta Hawks.
Okay.
And when they beat y'all. And when they beat y'all in the Garden.
Yep.
That team then thought that they had a squad that was ready to compete. And they haven't reached near the conference finals since then. They've barely reached the playoffs since then because, like, in the Eastern Conference weak as fuck. In the Eastern Conference, you can sometimes get the right matchups, even all the way up to the conference finals. So I'm going to tell you this. There's a 0% chance in the NBA, in the Western Conference, that you're going to get to the conference finals without facing, like, a dog-ass team. And in the Eastern Conference, you can get to the conference finals a la the Atlanta Hawks with, like, playing very mid teams. And so that's kind of what y'all are doing right now. And I think what this is setting up for y'all up for is what happened to the Atlanta Hawks 3 years ago when they made the conference finals and they never got back. Another team to give you some perspective on this. Nope, but 1 second. Another team that did this to give you some perspective on this was the Portland Trailblazers years ago when they had Al-Farouq Aminu, Allen Crabbe, all those guys. They had all those guys, and they went to the conference finals, and we swept them pretty much without Steph Curry coming because Steph Curry came back game 4 of the sweep, came off the bench, had 5 points or 6 points the whole game, and then went crazy in overtime. And that Portland Trailblazer team, they never did anything again. However, you know what they did? They ran off and paid all of those guys because they thought they had a team that had a chance, and it was a fluke. And so that's what the Knicks are setting y'all up for right now, and it'll be probably another 15 years of misery that we all will sit around and laugh at Knicks fans with their delusion about.
Right, here we go. Knicks for clicks.
That's just
you don't
that's
believe
just
it,
what it.
You know
what's going to happen.
You know what's going to happen. Now everybody wants to play on the big stage. You said it yourself. You love the Garden. It is the Mecca. And now we have a high-functioning team. And our owner, he's busy. He's busy with his sphere. He's happy. Dolan's happy. He's got music. He got tech. He's in Vegas. He got the Eagles. He got U2. He's not courtside. And you know who we got courtside? We got Oaks, Starks, DeBusch. I mean, we got, not DeBusch, rest in peace, but we got everybody.
Marbury.
They got Steph Barber on the sidelines. We got the Knicks dialed in. We have more picks than we could ever use. We have more picks, first-round picks, second-round picks. We are stocked. And you know what? This is the time that a great player, could be Spider, could be somebody else, says, you know what? If I was part of that squad, I'd be the missing piece. And you know about getting the missing piece because you've helped maybe sort of, kind of, no tampering, but you've kind of sort of talked to people about, where maybe their future lies.
So you think Donovan Mitchell gets y'all over the hump?
They're not going down, they're going up.
You
Who are we
think
going to
Donovan
land this
Mitchell
summer
gets
with all
y'all
those
over the hump?
picks?
You think if y'all get Donovan Mitchell, that gets y'all over the hump? Is that what you and Knicks fans believe?
I'm just talking about getting better every season, which is what we've done since Tibbs has gotten here in the front office.
Here's the problem, J. Cal. You only get so many seasons to be getting better and not win until they break it up. So who is the guy that you think or hear, and before we get out of here, who's the guy that you think or you hear that is available around the league that Knicks fans will want to see come in, and not only see come in, but can see past the Knicks fans blinder because y'all ain't never won shit in 40-something years, can see past those blinders and say, this guy can actually get us over the top, not come in and get us to the conference finals because we're just happy because we're Knicks fans and we never win. Who is the guy?
I mean, I hear people say Spider. I hear them say Mikal Bridges. I hear a lot of names come up. You tell me. I mean, you're in the league, and we had KD go to the New Jersey Nets instead of coming to the Knicks. I mean, the worst career move in history. Not only did he leave the dynasty where he was cherished and loved out here, he went to the worst franchise like in the league, and it was a complete disaster. So, I mean, are we not a place that player? What I mean, the back channel. Do players look at the Knicks differently in 2024 than they did when KD and other people just said, you know what, it's whack. The owner's whack. Don't go there. Be honest.
If I'm honest, I think it may be a little more intriguing than it was then because there was a time in the NBA where guys weren't really looking to go to a Knicks, weren't really looking to go to the Lakers. Till LeBron went to the Lakers, the Lakers weren't getting any free agents for 5-6 year period, right? Like where they weren't getting any. They signed Roy Hibbert in free agency, Timothy Mozgov in free agency.
Yeah, they gave him a big check.
Like, I love Luol Deng. They signed Luol Deng at the tail end of his career and gave him money. Like, so there was a time where the Lakers couldn't get free agents at all. The Knicks couldn't get free agents at all. And I think guys were really over playing in the big market like those. Like, it didn't really matter if you went to the big market. At that time, that was around the time Paul George was a free agent, Kawhi Leonard was a free agent. Like, you had guys that could go to these two huge market teams, and they chose not to. And so however, I think that has changed now, and here's why I think it has changed. I think that has changed because of social media. I think that has changed because of all the other things around basketball, all the business around basketball that is not basketball. I think that has changed because guys are now looking at these particular organizations in these cities and saying, that organization, that city can help me with X. So if I go there, then I'm able to do this. For instance, LeBron James came to LA. He, Maverick, Rich, they built empires in LA in 6-7 years, right? Like, and so I think guys are now starting to look at those two teams in particular, Warriors and, from a Silicon Valley standpoint. Like, I think guys are starting to look at these teams now and say, what does that city, what does that organization have to offer me from a standpoint that is much bigger than basketball?
The NBA playoffs are heating up. Man, they have been so good. I know it's over, but Lakers Nuggets may have been a 5-game series. It was great. Knicks, Sixers, amazing. Why don't you sign up for the DraftKings Sportsbook app? It takes 90 seconds. The official sports betting partner of the NBA. If you're in DraftKings, once you sign up, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Great proposition. Right? $5, you get $150. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The code's Collins, C-O-L-I-N. It's me, C-O-L-I-N. Really quick, really easy. If you've never bet sports before, check it out. Really makes the games fun. The code is Colin. New customers get $150 in bonus bets by betting $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.